What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. At the beginning of Market Watch, sometimes I shout out a must-see video. It's been a while, but the return of JRB Jobber is definitely something I wanted to shout out here. I'm just excited as a fan. My man's is back. This pack opener puts the community on his back like no other Yu-Gi tuber. He has an entire team of like 30 plus amazing duelists, and he helps out, gets traveling across the state, such as at Deception, actually, as you might see in the sidebar up here. It's just really awesome to see Jobber back. It's really good, and he talks about where he's been, why he's been gone, and I think you guys should check that out after this video. But definitely, I'm glad to see this guy back. He has a YCS top. It's nice to see somebody opening packs that really dives into and gets the meta and talks about it. It's pretty cool. The only other tuber that like opens packs that I really watch like that is not a pack opening channel. It's DZ right now. And Cyber Knight's also pretty cool. I guess there's three. There's three. I'm sorry, I'm underestimating my casual inner channeling of pack openings. But let's go ahead and get into that Market Watch layout and go ahead and look at the worst rebuyout of 2018. So far, anyways. Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon Ultra Rare has been rebought out to the point of 40. It's very half-assed because they're still sitting here unlimited $19 by bids, but buy it now is at 23s, and even the golds are above the ultras on eBay. This just doesn't make much sense to me. People really do target TCG player like this. There's only 7 prices for the gold, 2 for the ultra. Now, there's huge rumors about an ultimate rare coming, which is what makes the ultra rare a terrible buyout. This is no longer going to be the highest rarity if that's true, and they probably should have waited to see if it was coming ultimate in the OTS pack instead of just going ham. If it's not in there, great, but there's so many people just talking about it that I have to feel like it could be coming. It just feels right when you hear the rumors about the OTS pack. So it's just weird to see the ultra rare bought out to that point. It's a risky gambit, but also when you rebuy things out like this, there's going to be a ton of sellers who were keeping theirs for a bit. There's going to be people with playsets that say, all right, I'm going to list at that price, and the quantity is going to fill back up and the price is going to fall back down too. Whenever you do a secondary buyout as a group who's doing these buyouts, you have to be ready for the 3rd buyout, the 4th buyout, the 5th buyout, and Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, there's just too many copies of to continue doing that with in the entire market, in my opinion. And yes, an ultimate rare won't be a cheaper reprint and won't get this card to where it needs to be going downwards, but it definitely will stuff this from being the highest rarity, and it definitely will, you know, hold a wanted price point as both a casual and competitive card. It's not the most competitive card, but it holds its own. Bujinki Amaterasu Ghost Rare also has a secondary volley of buyouts. If you might remember, it was sitting around 20-25. Now it's headed towards 35 here on TCG Player. But again, unlimited near mint, $19 versus, you know, unlimited $35. We see a huge price disparity. That's because independent sellers are going to be on both platforms. The quantity is still relatively low. It's just weird to see these price differences between both platforms and eBay just slamming it being so much cheaper. Again, when you're doing a secondary buyout, if you're a group targeting a card, you have to be ready for the 3rd and 4th, and it gets very, very expensive. So we'll see where this card's going. It's a great card. It's actually highly underestimated, but again, I don't see it being worth it at this kind of a price point. And a lot of people said they do see it being worth it, but it was $5 just a bit ago. Still, the market price still there, showing that the sales might not actually be happening. Maybe people just listed it higher, but I definitely think some of those listings had to get bought. So we'll see if the market price updates or what happens with that with TCG Player later on. It's been out for a very long time from Primal Origins. Shiranui Solitaire, huh? You see, this price ain't too far off from its market price, but this price is rising. on the original, the TDIL. People are really stretching for any synergy with the Dark Structure deck, but this actually may be one of the best of them, because Shiranui Solitaire tributes and gets you zombies out of your deck, which is pretty darn good for not having to target and being able to remove. So I gotta give it to this one. Like, the zombie engine is very good, very powerful, and this might be one of the best to work in tandem with the Dark Structure deck. It's one I certainly didn't see coming. And we see it's around $450, $490, quickly meeting at $5 for the TDIL as well over on eBay. So if you really need your original version, you might want to get it now, or even go for the Mega Pack if you are thinking about using a zombie engine with the Dark Structure deck. I've obviously been sleeping on this combo, and I haven't really heard anyone else talk about it, so it's cute. Basically, everybody's just looking for that word tribute and seeing what they can actually do with it, and the Dark Field spell out of Layer of Darkness coming up here in April 20th. Layer of Darkness. Storming Mirror Force, borrowing this one from Robbie Cole's Market Watch. The secret rare is way up there at 23 and 25. That's pretty crazy. I kind of saw Mirror Forces going up when they released new support in the form of a trap card that searches out Mirror Forces in a sense, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one, or if it will stay. Its market price is over double where it was. It'll slowly fall back down. It'll probably stick at 18 for a while, then go to 15. But I don't know if it'll fall all the way back again. We've actually seen this rise from it before during Magispector format, so I would hope that it's able to fall back down towards its original market price, but there's no certainty with that, as, you know, this is its second, like, after a long time volley, rather than it being a newer card. So it's definitely been a long time since this card got bought out, and it's interesting to see. The gold rare going nowhere, so it's obviously not for playability, but collectability in terms of being highest rarity and looking nice. It's got plenty of printings now, so you got budget options, but I don't know that this is worth it. I have to see where it's going. I personally don't think the buyout will pan out too well in terms of sales rates versus quantities bought up. But at the same time, I can see where it was coming, like, the people buying it out were coming from, and it's not the worst pick I've seen. It's definitely a gamble. I'm borrowing this from Yu-Gi-Oh! Money's Market Watch. Shoutouts to him. He's been doing great lately. Junk Forward. All of them are rising, and I don't think it's necessarily needed, and there's that always shop both mentality that I love to stress, because you see the super as low as 468 here if you really want super rares. Oh, look, near mint, $2, $1.50, probably near mint, more than 10 available. So I'm guessing, and it says new, brand new, unused, etc. So it should be near mint. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say, again, it's really weird to continue to see that TCG player complete buyouts versus eBay not even being touched. Always look at both. I sound like a broken record, but this Market Watch more than anything just shows it. 3 of my first 4 featured cards are just insanely cheaper on eBay than TCG Player from the buyout hype culture. So take it for what you will. This is getting bought out. If you want your super rares, run on over to eBay. The Hidden City. Again, borrowing from Robbie Cole. This is an interesting one. I honestly don't buy into it. Subterra Guru makes the deck better. It doesn't really break it. It's not going to peak into top cut over and over. The deck did have a regional standing as well, but it was field spell deck featuring Subterras in a sense. It's not my favorite buyout, but again, I can see where it came from. It definitely is a decent card, and Subterra shouldn't be underestimated, but at the same time, I feel like they shouldn't be overestimated, and its market price was already high for what it is. You see secret rares like Squib Draw that are at $2, whereas this, over time, has now risen. It never got its Megaton reprint. Interesting is all I can say for this. Utopia DT, are you serious? We already see one listed at 30. Earlier, it had the flashy price point of being 50 across the board. I'm not feeling this one, guys, and we already see it fall down to 20, so it is quickly falling. Where to land, nobody knows. It was sitting around $8, so there is that. So it's getting to 15 makes this buyout successful for whoever did it, if it can stick there. But all this attention is probably just going to have people going, well, all this mine here, and the competition will drive it back down, I think, towards 15, maybe 12. I mean, even at 12, they're doing all right on the buyout, but then they're close to breaking even. So take it for what you will. If you need to make your lightning package as high rarity as possible, I guess this is it. This is the answer. And double evolution pill. This is just something I wanted to talk about here at the end of Market Watch. $7. It's risen up a lot. This just shows you the diverse meta, where when everything is good, everything goes up. This may only have one printing, but it went from a basically obscure card to somewhat hyped in Shadow Dinosaurs to the Dinosaur engine being splashed in some Lightsworn decks. It's not prevalent. It's not all over Top Cut, but it is good. And you see it just continue to rise and rise and rise in price. One printing can do that to a card, but at the same time, this isn't the most in-demand card in the world. And you see it actually cheaper on eBay. Again, $5.50, $6, saving like $1. But it's consistently going up, and it just is a sign of the meta when things aren't really feared for the ban list. It just stays there. Where Diagram's like falling right now, you have Electromite falling right now. Double Evolution Pill is just chugging forward with its one printing. So when everything is good, you see crazy things happen and prices just rise. And is this card worth it? In my opinion, yeah, it's a great card. I told you guys, I think, to get them while they were 250s. So it's good, but it's not the most meta prevalent card, yet it's demanding a nice price point for a card out of Battles of Legend. In fact, it's nearing, I think, is that in the top 5 prices? It's surpassed Minerva. Well, it's about tying here on TCG Player. Yeah, it's pretty much there. It passed Crystal Wing. If a year ago somebody told you this card was coming and told you, like, versus Crystal Wing, what did you think was bigger? People would have still told you to buy like Crystal Wing over this card, I would think. But Overtext really did turn this card into something special. So, thanks for watching today's Market Watch. What did you think of all these movements? Slow movements, fast movements, re-volleys of buyouts. It's pretty crazy out here. The buyout, like, just culture that's been happening this entire week. There's just too many to cover. It's actually insane. But what do you guys think of it? I think it makes me want to go watch some wholesome pack openings from JRB Jobbers, what it makes me want to do instead of looking at prices.